All right, I think we're good here. We're good. We're live. I should be sharing my screen, so we should be good to go from that perspective. We still have people chiming in from where they're calling in from, which is cool. We've got folks all over the U.S., Canada, and even outside of the U.S. and Canada, which is awesome. So you are in the right place if you're looking for the workshop on a 6-step formula for creating commitments that will explode your income and transform your business and life, right? Because here's the thing. What I'm going to share with you, you can use it for anything you're trying to accomplish in your life, right? It doesn't have to be a business goal or an income goal. In fact, a lot of the examples specifically and on purpose that I'm going to give you, I'm gonna keep it outside of like specifically for real estate, and I'll explain why I'm doing that specifically as I walk you through this process. Now, a couple of things that I want you to know up front. Well, actually, let me take care of a couple of housekeeping things, and then I want to pre-frame this for you. Give this some frame this for you. First of all, this I said this when I first came on about 6-7 minutes ago, and I'm going to say it again. What I'm going to share with you and walk you through is the most important thing that I will share with you all year or possibly ever if you want to achieve great things in your life. And I don't say this lightly. Okay? This process will change your life if you do it, right? If you do it. So I really strongly encourage you to give undivided attention for the next, I honestly don't know how long this will take. It's not going to take that long, right? It's going to be less than an hour. I'm sure we're going to stay on for lots of Q&A. But just give your undivided attention here. Seriously, okay? That's number one. Number two, I mean this sincerely. This is a workshop. You need to have a pen and paper or your tablet or a phone, something that you can do, take, like each one of these steps, there is work that you are to do. And I want you to do it as we go through it, right? Don't just sit here and listen and then do it later, right? Now, I want you to do it here now, and then maybe you'll edit it later, but do it here now as I walk you through these 6 steps. That's number two. Number three, questions. You can pop your questions in the box, and I'll stay on and answer as many as I can, as many as possible. So, here's the deal. I haven't, this process I'm going to walk you through, it's a process I've been doing for a little while now, but I've never taught it in a group setting like this, right? So I don't have anything overly scripted other than the fact that I'm going to walk you through these 6 steps, right? And before we get to those, I just want to tell you, tell you a little story and give you a little context, because I always think it's helpful to have context when you're learning something new. The more success that I have been blessed with when it comes to business, the more success that I've been blessed with, that I've had, the more I realize that it's not about specific tactics or strategies, while those are important. Achieving goals, achieving great things in your life is less about the tactics and specifics and more about you and your mentality and you as a person, you from a personal growth perspective, than anything else. And I would say it's 80-20, right? Like there's an old saying that that baseball is 80% mental and 20% ability. And I don't know, in baseball, to be a pro baseball player, you got to be pretty talented. But I will say this, at that level, they all are extremely talented, and the ones that have the right mental makeup are the ones who become known as the clutch pitcher or the clutch hitter and so forth. And it's exactly the same here for you. You're inevitably, as we go through this, income is going to come up because income is the way, generally speaking, in business that we keep score, right? So income is going to come up. You need to know that your income will only grow to the point that you grow as a person, right? Now, some of you may disagree, and some of you, there's always exceptions to the rule, and we've even had times relatively recently where people who made a lot of money despite themselves, right? But that long term, that doesn't work, right? Long term, if you want to have lasting success from an income perspective and just from a perspective of wealth and influence and leaving a legacy, you have to focus on yourself and grow as a person first, right? So, this year, specifically on this webinar, this workshop, and this year in general, I'm going to be talking a lot more about personal growth and personal development than I have in the past, because having done this for years and years now, it becomes frustrating to me when I will, let's say we have somebody on, or I share a strategy that I know works, and two people will do it and get wildly different results, and the different results relates back to the person, not the strategy, not the tactic. And so, I'm committed to that this year because I want to help more of you create freedom and prosperity and success in your life. Okay. So that was a long roundabout story, but I think you get the point. Now, the last thing I'm going to say before I share step number 1 in this 6-step formula is this. The difference between successful people and people who fail are successful people will take action before they know everything, before they have all the answers, before they've read the whole manual or read the whole book or gone through all of the videos in the training or even finished the first video. Unsuccessful people, people who fail, they wait until they quote unquote know everything or have all the answers, etc. And in doing so, oftentimes the answers change, or they just get to a point where they never actually take action. So I want you to do this process with me, even though right now you may not have the answers when it comes to how you're going to achieve the result that we're going to focus on. And it's going to be individual. This is an individualized workshop, right? So it's not like I'm going to give you all the same goal. I'm going to walk you through a process. You're going to create your own. And I want you to suspend your disbelief during this process. I want you to suspend your disbelief for the next 50 minutes and just assume that by doing this process with me, even if you don't have all the answers now as to how you're going to achieve that goal, assume that in the action of working towards it, you will figure it out, because that's how it works. That's how it works. Okay? Anyway, let's get to step number 1. All right? Now, again, there's been probably 100 100 new people on since I started this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give everybody 30 seconds to get a pen and paper, or if you're going to type on your tablet or whatever, you need to have something to do the work as we go through this. So I'm going to give you all 10, 20 seconds. It's going to be awkward and quiet, but I'm going to give you 10, 20 seconds to make sure that you have something to do this process with me. All right, so everyone should now have a pen and paper or something to do the work here with me, right? The first step in this process, in this formula, is you have to set a crystal clear intention or outcome. It's got to be something that is so clear that if you read it to a 5-year-old, they would have no problem understanding it and know what your goal is. Okay? And for some of you it might be an income goal. For some of you it might be a number of transactions. For some of you it may be completely unrelated to a real estate business. It might be a weight loss goal. And in fact, as we go through this, I'm going to share probably what I'm going to use is weight loss a lot in walking you through this, and I'll explain why as we go through it. But it doesn't regardless of what area of your life that you want to create the crystal clear intention or outcome for, it's got to be crystal clear. Okay, and here's what I want you to do. It's a 90-day intention. It's not a 1-year intention. It's not even a 6-month intention. It's 90 days. Because here's the problem. When you set longer goals or outcomes, it's far too easy to get off track, right? And get derailed. If you set a 90-day income or outcome, you're much more likely to stay focused in 90-day increments, right? So we're gonna do it for a 90-day period, which means the intention or outcome is going to be, let's say we'll set it for April 1st, and we're not going to be fooling in this case, right? And here's how I want you to do it. Here's how to do it. Let me see here. It needs to be a couple of things. It needs to be first person. It needs to be present tense. It needs to be time-based, all right? We already talked about time-based, okay? So on April 1st, and it needs to include all senses. And then I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of this, specifically, outside of maybe, what we might be focusing on here. And ideally, you're going to do like, what nice thing you'll do for yourself once you've achieved this goal. Okay? So here's a really quick, completely off-the-cuff example of setting this intention. Actually, let's do this. I'll walk you through a couple more questions to ask yourself to create it, and then I'll give you an example. Okay? So what? Let's just put income or other goal do you want to hit in 90 days? Okay. Let's see. Why do you want that income or other goal? What purpose will it serve in your life? Okay? What is a reason to drive you to accomplish this goal? Okay? And by the way, I will share this document. You know what? Let me just take a side here. A bunch of people are asking about a replay. I will gladly share this replay because this is something that you can and should come back to frequently. Like every time you hit your 90-day goal, you should come back to it and create a new one. And I will include this document. I'll include this document. So here's the reason why you need a reason. As you're doing this, as you're working towards this goal, without question, you're going to have adversity. Things are going to come up. If you don't have a strong enough reason, you're going to give up, right? And I actually, so the email that most of you read, most of you read that led you to this was Yoda's quote. There is no try, only do or not do, right? If you're going, it can't be, I'm going to try to earn $50,000 in the next 90 days, right? It can't be that, because if you're just going to try, adversity will kick you in the butt and you won't achieve it. So next is, what evidence is there going to be in your life to show that you've accomplished the goal? And what reward are you going to create for yourself when you reach the outcome? Because every time you hit a goal, you need to celebrate, okay? Otherwise, you're training your unconscious mind to that there's no benefit, there's no reward to doing these things, right? And where are you when you see the evidence? That you've achieved your goal or your outcome. Actually, let's call it an outcome, because I don't even like using goals, because I don't know, it just gotten to a point where the connotation with goals is like, you create goals and never achieve them. So here's an example, completely unrelated to income or real estate, etc. And the reason I'm doing this is I really want you to think about this and engage with this process. And if I give you one specific to real estate, which maybe I will anyway in a minute or after we do this a little bit, I don't want you to just take it and make that your own. I want you to make it your own from the start. Okay, so let me give you an example. It's the morning of April 1st, 2014, and I've just been woken up by my two boys, as I always am, in the morning, and I realized that it is time to go weigh myself to see that I have achieved the outcome that I've desired, which is to get to a weight of, let's say, 165 pounds. And because I've involved my boys in creating this outcome and helping to keep me accountable, they are excited and know that the first thing we're going to do is go step on the scale. So I put my feet on the ground. I sort of dig my toes into the carpet a little bit. I stretch out a little, and I slowly walk over to the bathroom where my scale is located. And as I do so, I notice the sunlight coming in through the blinds, and I notice the I'm trying to. It's always hard to do these off the cuff. I noticed the humidifier running in the background, and my boys are holding my hands, almost dragging me into the bathroom. And I use my big toe to push the button on my scale to turn it on, and then once it's ready, I step on the scale, and I see that the scale is reading 164. And I feel this incredible amount of pride and accomplishment to know that I've not only met my goal, but I've exceeded it. And I realize how easy it was to reach that goal over the last 90 days. And my boys start cheering for me, and it almost brings a tear to my eye. I go and hug my boys, I give my wife a kiss, and I head downstairs to get my morning cup of coffee. And when I do, I just take a minute to sit with my coffee and soak in how awesome it feels to know that I am powerful and that I can achieve my goals. All right, now that was totally off the cuff, right? Totally off the cuff, totally unscripted, and totally unrelated to real estate, right? But I think you get the idea, right? It's got to be first person, and it has to be present tense. See, this is one way that people sabotage their goals consciously and unconsciously. They always talk about goals as if they're in the future, right? The goal it's right around the corner. And what happens is when you do that, you keep that goal right around the corner, right? You're keeping the goal at bay. But if you set it first person and create the outcome in a present tense manner, you're taking ownership of that outcome and you're creating it in reality. You're letting your unconscious mind believe that it's possible, right? So again, we want it to be in present tense, first person, time base, include as many senses as possible. And then one thing I didn't do, and I'll put this at the end. I can't wait to go shopping this weekend to buy, new spring clothing because I'm now 2 sizes smaller than just 90 days ago. Okay, so you want to create, a reward. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to give you like a minute. It's going to be awkward here for a minute. It's going to be awkward in the sense that it's going to be quiet. I'm going to give you a minute to, if you haven't already done so, start creating this. And look, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? This does not have to be perfect. This is your initial shot at it, right? I just want you to get something on paper, and then later you can make it better, clearer, etc. But just start to get this on paper. So it's got to be in first person. We're looking at April 1st. If you're listening to this webinar, sometime out in the future, just pick the date that's 90 days out from the time that you're listening to this. Okay? It's got to include all or as many of your senses as possible so you can really feel and engage with this outcome and with this intention. And let's pick something nice that you're going to do for yourself once you've achieved the goal. Now, I'm going to try to be quiet, but I also don't want to lose people we got people coming on and off, and I don't want there to be complete quiet here because people are going to be confused. But start, if you haven't already done so, get something on. This should at least be like, if you're using a notebook, we should be looking at like at least a half a page of a description of this. And then what I'll do is maybe I'll do one that's a little more specific to like income creation. But I wanted to, well, I explained already why I did the weight loss one to begin with. So go ahead and do that now. Go ahead and do that now. And also, Also, feel free, and if you do this, I will not share your name, but feel free to put your outcome in the question box, right? You don't have to put, obviously, you're not going to type out your whole intention here, but like, whatever, if it's an income goal, if it's a weight loss goal, if it's a number of transaction goal, just share those as you come up with them in the question box, okay? And I won't share your name unless you tell me, share my name to hold me accountable. Whatever it is, pop it in there, and I just want to see that you're actually doing this, because here's the unfortunate part. And Jeremiah has, I just said I wouldn't say names, and then I'm so used to saying it. Anyway, a fellow with the name of Jay left me an income goal. And it's a good one. Jeremiah, you can do it, my man. You can do it. Here's the unfortunate part of this. Right now, we have several hundred people on this, over 400 people on this. And unfortunately, I know from experience that only 5 to 10% of you are actually doing this with me right now. And that's sad to me, because that means that 90 to 95% of you aren't doing this. And I can tell you from personal experience, if you want to be able to consistently achieve your goals, you've got to do this. Okay? You've got to get away from searching for the next great strategy or tactic. They're important, and in fact, I'm going to share where in this formula they fall in. But you've got to start with this. You've got to start with a clear outcome, a clear intention, because that is what will drive you. All right? So do that right now. Keep sharing. Come on, share some goals, people. 25 closed deals. I love it. 12 celebrations. 62,000 in income. Buy a new car, cash. 10 transactions in 90 days. 75,000 in commission. I love this stuff, people. Love it. And then so some people are sharing what their reward is going to be. A Florida trip for the family. A trip to Florida for the family. I love it. 40,000 in net income. I love it. Come on, keep it coming. Income goal of 20,000. Communicate monthly with past clients. Galen, that is great. That's good. That falls a little bit more under some of the other steps of this process, which I promise we're going to get to. But good. Income goal from Jeff: 15 transactions closed, 30 to 40K in listings commissions. Good. Lose 60 pounds. Dude, let's do it. I love it. And in fact, what I'll do is towards the end, like during Q&A, I'll share what I described. During the outcome, that was kind of me. Now, 3 or 4 Januaries ago, I don't remember, I set an outcome to lose 25 pounds in 60 days, and I actually did it in 45 days. And not only that, I did it in such a way that I've kept it off, and it's actually been like, I won't say effortless, because nothing is completely effortless, but my weight is something that I've struggled with from a very young age. So I'm happy to, I'll share, how I did it, because it might help some people. 80,000 in income in 90 days. I love it. I want to spoil my granddaughter coming in January. Good. That's a good one, but I'd really like it to be specific. Like what, specifically to what you're saying, you're going to either need time, you're going to spoil them with time, or spoil them with gifts or whatever. And so let's try and get more specific as to what that will look like. Person who shared that, I won't say their name by closing them out or calling them out. Close 2 deals in the next 30 days. So this person is compressing time even more, which is fine. 12 closed deals and hire an assistant. Pay off my condo. This is great, people. 75,000 in GCI. 25K in debt free. Love it. Okay, I can't wait until two of my current listings close so I can go to Hawaii and completely enjoy my time. So the intention there is to sell these 2 listings that are sucking up my time, Terry. So we need to frame it in such a way. See, by saying I can't wait until, that's like putting it off around the corner. Okay, putting it off around the corner. It's April 1st or March 1st or even February 1st. And gosh, it feels so incredible to know that as I log into my MLS, I see that the 2 listings, and you can even, put in the addresses. These 2 listings show a status of closed or, sold, whatever it is. And gosh, I take a sip of my coffee and I just let out a sigh of relief to know that not only was I able to help those clients get the outcome that they desire, but I now know that I can go on vacation to Hawaii and completely enjoy my time with my family and have a clear conscience to spend whatever I want while I'm there. Okay? Do you see? Well, I almost said your name. But do you see the difference there? It can't be I can't wait until. It's got to be, it's this day in time. And gosh, how incredible it feels to log into my MLS or to, however it is that you would, however it would look like, whatever evidence there would be that those listings were closed. Okay? Successful wedding for my daughter paid for. That's awesome, right? That's awesome. It's April 1st, and gosh, I can't believe how incredible it feels to know that I've been able to pay for my daughter's wedding and not have to worry about where that money is going to come from, so that I can fully enjoy this beautiful day. And you obviously going on and more specific, but I love that. Great. 36 transactions this year and a vacation quarterly. Okay, here's the deal. 36 transactions this year, right? So what is that this quarter? What is that in the next 90 days? Okay? Because this is important. If you set a yearly outcome, I'm telling you, you won't hit it. You've got to do this in 90 days. So, quick math. Quick math tells me, what is that? 9. So, 9 transactions in the next 90 days is the goal, right? And so, here's how that might look. I've just gotten into the office. I always bring in coffee. Notice I might have an addiction to coffee, but I was just going to say, and I sit down in front of my computer as I take another sip of my coffee, and I log into my MLS to pull up my closed transaction report for the year. And I get this overwhelming sense of accomplishment as I see that I've already closed 10 transactions. And I should have started by saying it's April 1st. I think I did say that, but maybe not. So it's April 1st. I walk into my office. I log in. And as I look around the office and I hear the phones ringing and I hear the general buzz of the background conversations, I just feel this pride welling up inside of me to know that I am on the way to achieving my goals, and I'm going to reward myself by going to, and be specific, like what vacation are you going to take? You want a vacation quarterly? What's that first vacation, right? So break it down into the 90 days. Now, I'm not saying you can't have, like, what you should do, since you have that year goal, we just need to break it down into the 90-day outcomes or intentions, okay? 10K per month in commission. Mike, hey Mike, we're doing one tomorrow where I'm going to be real specific with what you're talking about there, okay? I'm doing one tomorrow, real specific. It should be great. Pick up 2 more investors to work with, okay? So what does that look like, right? What does that look like? I would say that goal, that should be like a 15 or 30 day goal, right? 2 investors, that seems to me like something that could and should be accomplished in like 30 days. Okay, so what does it look like? What does it feel like? What nice thing are you going to do for yourself when you achieve that? 10 transactions in 120 days. Let's do 10 in 90 days. Or let's do 8 in 90 days, right? I'm telling you, there's something, 90 days, there's just something different about setting a goal for that amount of time. Your unconscious will be more likely to go to work and believe that something great is able to be accomplished in a short period of time like that. And even just taking it out to 120, I'm telling you that it's a little thing that makes a big difference. So focus on 90 days or less. 90 days or less. A Disney World trip for my family. Corey, my wife and I, we were looking last night. It's a little bit chaotic now that we have 4 young ones trying to get to Disney, but we're looking at that for myself. Travel for 6 months. So, Clint, you're going to create an outcome where the reward is traveling for 6 months, I guess. I love it. 2 transactions a month. So 6 transactions in 90 days. 6 transactions in 90 days. 30,000 in income, 20 transactions. 10 transactions in 90 days. 15. Okay. I could go on and on. This is great. I could go on and on, but here's what I want to do. There's more steps to this process, okay? But this is awesome. So many of you, I'm overwhelmed with joy to see how many of you are actually doing this. So kudos. Okay, so we've kind of done this. We've already sort of done step 2, which is, written. Step 2 is write the outcome in such a way that it is crystal. That's already number 1. Crystal clear. So that, like I said, so that, anyone could take it and read it. So here's the thing. So many of you have created your additional or your first draft of this right now. Here's your homework. Okay? And I'm going to remind you of this, but your homework is tonight, go back and rewrite it with even more clarity. Okay? Write it with even more clarity. And here's what I would suggest to you or recommend to you. If you really want your feet held to the fire, involve your family in your outcome. Okay? If you've got a wife or a husband, involve them. Okay? And if you've got kids, if you involve them, that will create a new level of motivation, a new reason, a new level of why that when adversity hits, you will plow through. Okay? So I would highly, highly recommend that you have some accountability to this outcome once you get it crystal clear. Okay? All right. Here's number 3. Write down every resource that will help you achieve this outcome. Okay? Now, I need you to think outside the box here. It could be time, the amount of time that you have. It could be technology, right? Maybe you have a blog or an IDX website. a CRM, whatever, right? Okay, you've got to really, really think about, and start doing this right now. Start doing this. A list of contacts, okay? Your past clients, your social media sphere. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's your broker, okay? Maybe your broker is an asset for you. For some people, maybe not, but maybe your broker's an asset for you. Maybe you are your own broker. Let's think here. I just want you to think outside of the box, and I want you to come up with every possible resource you have that would be helpful in you achieving your outcome. Okay? This is a silly one, but I'll give it an example. If your goal was weight loss, a resource would be a scale, right? Kind of silly, but I want you to think of every possible resource. Okay, so direct mail pieces. Any systems that you have access to. Right? I guarantee many of you have bought stuff that you've never actually used that you could, go and use as a resource to accomplishing this goal, right? Let's see what else. Okay, so Andy says like he's got a dialer, right? Your cell phone. Get the more you can appreciate and recognize the current resources, and I'm going to even add to this, assets. The more you can appreciate those, the more likely you will be to see what happens in step 4. To achieve your outcome, but have what happens in step 4 happen for you. Okay. So I'm going to give you. I'll give you another 20, 30 seconds here just to scribble things down. Now, again, I want you, your homework is tonight, take 20 minutes, a half an hour. I want you to rewrite your outcome crystal clear. I want you to rewrite or add to your list of resources, and you're going to do some things with 4, 5, and 6 as well. Okay, so that list of resources should continue to grow here. Right? So like business contacts. Gosh. I'm drawing a blank here. Oh, but so virtual assistants. Thank you for those who are sharing. And I'm not telling, like, some of you don't have access. I'm just trying to get you, thinking, because your list of resources will be different than mine and will be different than Craig's or Lamar's or Craig Lamar or Andy or Al, and so forth. So just keep, I'll give you another 30 seconds and then we'll go down to step 4 because I can't believe we're already at 42:47. But I hope so many folks are staying on that I think you guys are enjoying this. And Al says, this Webby rocks. Thanks, guys. Motivating and doable. Right on, man. Right on. Thank you, Al. This is, this process has changed my life. So I want to share it with others. Barry, yes, this will be replayed. I'll be sending out a replay link with this document that we're doing as early as tomorrow. So somebody said a personal coach, right? They've already got a personal coach, which they can involve with this outcome, right? Create the outcome and then tell your personal coach to hold you accountable to the outcome. Loving it, great information, awesome webinar. Lisa, I love this. I just told my girls that we're taking a family trip to Alaska by the summer. Now you've got, like that is, at least for me, when I do that kind of stuff, that is without question, that's my reason why. Everything I do is for my family. So when I involve them in there, I will move heaven and earth to make sure, I'll do everything within my power, legal and ethical, to make sure that I hold my promise to them, right? And everybody, you all have people in your life like that, okay? You all have people like that. All right, so let's get to number 4. Let's get to number 4. Now, here's what you're going to do. You're going to list everything that you don't have currently. Now, this is not about thinking negatively. It's quite the opposite. By writing down everything that you need to achieve this outcome that you don't currently have, what you're doing is you're allowing your conscience, it's a hard word to say, for me anyway, you're allowing that to go to work on finding those things, right? So we're not focusing, it's not about being negative about what we don't have yet. It's about putting it out there to the universe so that your unconscious can go to work to get them. So what is it that you don't currently have that will help you achieve this goal? And some of these things up here, for some of you may be down here, right? And vice versa, right? For some of you, you may have stuff on number 4 that people have on number 3, and some of you, will have the opposite, right? So what are some things that you don't have now that will help you, that once you have them, will help help you get to your outcome more easily, okay? And if anybody wants to share some of their what they're putting for that would be great too. So somebody needs a better computer, right? A faster computer, right? So that they can be more efficient when they're doing the stuff that they need to do online. Great. A buyer's agent. Great. Time discipline. Ruth, I'm going to get to this sort of once we're done with the 6 steps. But that's great. Let's see here. BB, do you have the resources we're missing, like a website, CRM, a blog? In some of the cases, yes. In some of the cases, no, right? So it depends on what you're looking for and what you need. Like, if, for example, a blogging platform, we've got a blogging platform that we recommend everybody use to achieve their goals, right? Sorry, what's going on with my computer? But that's not the point right now. Again, I mentioned, I actually meant to say this at the very beginning, like, there is nothing for sale here, so I want you to let down your guard and just engage with this process. But BB, send me an email, and if there's specific things that you need, let me know, and we'll figure it out together. If it's not something that we offer, it's usually something that I can at least make a recommendation on, where you should go to get it. Let's see here. Testimonials. Okay, so social proof under number 4. That's great. I love it. A pedometer, conversion tools, cash, listings, videos of listings, and a YouTube account. A CRM so I can get organized. Accountability partner, a smartphone, clients, direct mail pieces created, commitment and drive. Now, Lillian, I won't say your last name. You've got the commitment and drive because you're on this and you're doing this. So that one you do have. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on this webinar, this workshop, and you wouldn't be doing this process with us. So I'm going to delete that from the string because you've got that. And we're going to help you get the rest. Let's see. Get myself out of the middle of implementation. Design the goals and hire others to implement while I focus on listing, selling, and closing. Good. I love it. A lead generation scheme. Okay, good. Use of video. Good direct mailer. Picking a farm area. Okay, all of this is great. None of these answers are right or wrong, right? None of these answers are right or wrong. You just need to get that on paper so your unconscious can go to work. All right, number 5 is you need to create a meta strategy. Okay, now what does that mean? Now this one is one that this is going to be homework, right? This is not one that you're going to be able to do at least completely on this workshop, okay? But what I mean by a meta strategy is like a big picture personal plan with the various parts included to implement the plan, okay? So this is your big picture strategy, right? This is, the pieces that you need in place to achieve your outcome. Because some of you have some big, hairy outcomes, and that is awesome. But you're going to need, you're not going to be able to achieve those outcomes by yourself. You're going to need the help of technology, and you're going to need the help of labor. Like one of you said, you need to find a buyer's agent, right? So this is the big picture, right? So big picture, how is my business going to look? How does it need to look in order for me to reach that desired outcome? Okay. And again, this is not one that we can, you can start sketching it out here, but this is one that you need to do for homework. This is one that you really have to sit down and work through here. Now, here's, this is important. Okay. This needs to be simple, not complex. Okay. The more complex you get here, the less likely you are of achieving your outcome. This is another thing that I have realized over time. Every single time I have attempted to make my business or businesses more complex in nature, every single time I've done it, they go backwards. Okay? Focusing on simple daily actions is what gets results, not a complicated or complex system of interworking things that takes, extreme amounts of time to A, figure out, B, implement, and 3, monitor, right? You need to keep things simple. So let me give you an idea of a meta strategy. Okay? It might be using the Reticulous method and the the Facebook syndication plan that we released to our members last month. And doing those, it might simply be doing those things from a technology standpoint to the tune of doing a deal a week, just simply doing those 2 things, right? So it might include this is, we're kind of, I'm going to put number 6 here because I'm kind of going in between the big picture and the last one, which is outline the micro strategy for filling in the gaps of number 5. Okay. So this is where you create your daily action plans. Your daily action plans is number 6. So what are the things that I'm going to do on a daily basis that fall under my number 5 meta strategy that utilize the resources that I have from number 3 that help me achieve the outcome that I've outlined in 1 and 2? Okay. Now, here is my commitment to all of you. Starting, I believe, as soon as tomorrow, I'm going to be creating daily action assignments, 5 days a week, so that that's my attempt to keep you all on track to achieve your outcomes. Okay? And I'm going to try to do it in such a way that you can sort of pick and choose what pieces you need that fit into your 5 and 6. There will be 3 primary big picture things that you need to do every day on these assignments. But within each of them, there will be some things that you get to pick and choose, right? And some of you don't even need this, but I realize some of you do need it. And I realized through some other businesses that I've been involved in, I've seen people doing this for, the people that they're trying to help with dramatically improved results. Okay? So what I'm going to do, is just that. And the first, I was going to even try to have the first assignment done today. Look at me saying try. But I strategically did not do it because I didn't want to distract from this. I don't want you guys to do anything aside of required stuff until you've got this crystal clear. And for some of you, this may be several pages of notes and so forth. For some of you, you might get this down on a page or two, right? But I want you to get this crystal clear. And then I'm going to be sharing, like I said, daily action assignments with the intent of helping you achieve those goals. So under number 6, some of the micro strategies, that's where I was getting a little convoluted. So a micro strategy might be doing our Facebook syndication plan once a week, maybe every Wednesday. A micro strategy might be using Mike Stott's zero resistance FSBO system on a daily basis. A micro strategy might be using the reticulus method on a daily basis, and so forth. Okay? Now, here's the last part of this, is you need to reverse engineer the daily numbers you need to hit to reach your outcome. Now, here's where I can't do this for you, but I'll try and give you some help. I'll try to give you some help here. So, for example, we know that for most people using the reticulus method, they can get 1 to 3 out of 100 leads ready to do something now, right? Ready to buy now. Okay, 1 to 3. So let's just say it's 2. If we know that 2 out of 100 leads are ready to do something now, and this is buyer leads, right? If we know that 2 out of 100 are ready to do something now, and our goal, our outcome, is 10 transactions in 90 days, then we need, on average, about 175 leads per month. Let's just say 200. So then what do you need? You need 50 leads a week, which breaks down into what? 7 leads a day, right? So then you know, not only do you have your outcome as clear as possible, you have your resources, you know what you need, right? You've got your big picture of how you want your business to look like, and then we're filling in the gaps with those daily things right down to the numbers that we need. So we need 7 buyer leads a day. Okay? So those are the things that you can focus on. Let's say you're using Mike Stott's FSBO system, and you know that for every 10 for sale by owners that you prospect using his system, you get a listing. And I don't know these exact numbers. Mike can probably speak to them more specifically than I can. The numbers don't matter. You just need to know. You have to have an idea so that you can create the numbers so that you can focus on the daily action, the daily results that will lead you to achieving the bigger outcome. Because here's why this is why people don't achieve their goals. They create these goals and they focus on the goal and not what to do on a daily basis to make the goal a reality, to make the outcome a reality. Okay? So you need to figure out, and this, here, like, here's another, like, big point to make, is that, you know, you may do this and get off track in the first 30 days. Well, you can do this process. You can come back to this replay and redo the process. And you're going to learn yourself over time. Because I can tell you, I can give you an idea of what numbers should look like, but your numbers are going to be different than other people's numbers, right? So you need to do the stuff, and as you take action, your mistakes and your results will dictate, what things look like moving into the future, right? So simply, we'll go back. I'm going to go back to the beginning. Successful people are willing and able to take action before they have all the answers, right? So your answer, when you do this, man, I should have brought some water in here. I've been talking a lot. When you create this may be wrong. It doesn't matter. You've got to start somewhere, right? And I would say, err on the high side, right? So if you want to make sure that you hit your goals, and you know that 50 is probably going to do it, 50 a week, let's go for 100 a week. And then what's that? That's like 14 a day, 15 leads a day, right? And so forth. So is this still making sense? Is this still making sense? Can we here's what I'll also do, because people are already asking. A lot of people are asking for some of like the stuff that I've been mentioning. I'll put links to the stuff here because I promised, and I said I'm not going to sell on this, and I really am not. I have no intention of doing that. But some people are asking for some of this stuff, and so I'll post. You know what? I'll post some of the links in this document with the replay. And in the meantime, if some of you are asking for specific things, just email me, and I'll be happy to email you more information. Like, some people are asking about the Reticulus method, some people are asking about Mike Stotts, etc. Just email me, and I'll email you, whatever you need to get more information. So here's some questions that are coming in. Well, first of all, Dan said this makes perfect sense. Great stuff. Good. Galen says use of numbers, excellent. This is the accountability often missing. This is it. That's honestly, without this, here's the problem. Like, I'm gonna go up here to look at find this one comment that came in. I don't know exactly where it is. But it was something like, when I asked, it was during number 4 where we said, what you don't have currently. And it was something along the lines of, like, I don't know what to do, right? I don't know what to do to get to my outcome. Well, once you have this, it helps create a more clear concept of what you need to do, and then you can go about finding the ways to get those numbers, right? So people are asking, well, how can I get 15 leads a day? Well, that's like super, super easy for people using the Reticulus method. 15 leads a day, you hitting 15 leads a day by next week, even if you've never generated a lead online. So that without I agree 100%, Galen. That is the most important thing. But we've got to start with that outcome and the reason why, and work our way down to the numbers. All right, let's see here. I'll put my email address down here. But you should be able to reply to any of the emails that led you to this webinar. Elizabeth, can this be applied to starting my t-shirt line? This can be applied to anything. Anything. Okay? We're using it specific to real estate because most of the people on here are realtors, right? But the example I gave at the beginning was about losing weight, right? And so this process, these 6 steps apply to achieving any goal or result that you are seeking in your life. Health, fitness, family, spiritual, business, whatever. The process is universal. Susan, I'm certain that City Blast is in your area. I don't know how long ago you tried it, but I'm certain that City Blast is in your area. You can just go to cityblast.com/reticulous. Okay, so somebody asked this, and I'll just share it now because I said I would. So how I personally achieved my weight loss goal. I'll just share my webcam real quick. Was with the help of this book. Okay, it's called The 4-Hour Body by a guy named Tim Ferriss. Huge book, but don't let that intimidate you. And for those of you who don't know Tim Ferriss, the dude is he's one of my unmet mentors. He wrote a book called The 4-Hour Workweek, which is part of the reason why I do what I do now. A big reason why. I'll turn this off now. I just wanted to show so people could see what the book looks like. So that book, it outlines a diet called the slow carb diet. And that's how I achieved my weight loss goals. Now, here's the interesting thing. So I'll tell you this story just to prove a couple of points. I was fat when I was young. There's no two ways about it. I was overweight. I was fat. And I got to a point where when I was 11, almost 12 years old, I just became completely fed up with being overweight. And I remember it very specifically. I was shopping for clothes. I can tell you where I was shopping. I can picture it like it was yesterday. And as usual, I was shopping in the Husky section, right? The Husky clothes, because I was overweight. And nothing fit. There was not nearly the selection as like the regular size clothes, etc. And I remember telling my mom, this is the last time that I am shopping in the Husky section. This is the last time. And what I did was, right around where I turned 12 years old, I lost in a period of, I can't remember exactly, but it was 45 to 60 days or so. I lost over 30 pounds by exercising like crazy and not eating. I mean, I ate, but significantly cutting down on what I ate. I ate no desserts, none of that. I can't remember what I ate every day for breakfast, but I remember at lunch, like all I ate at lunch was a ham and cheese sandwich, a clementine or an orange, and like, I don't know, carrots or celery or something like that. I don't remember that specifically. But here's what happened. Even though I lost that weight, I still constantly sort of struggled with weight. And even though I lost weight, my body just looked like a smaller version of my body, right? So I still was like, I don't know. I still just was never really comfortable in my own skin. I was never, as confident as I would like to be. And I did it in a way that is like sort of the conventional way of thinking, right? Because everybody says, if you want to lose weight, just eat less and work out more, right? So fast forward to a time where, I found this Tim Ferriss book, and still struggling with my weight. My weight had actually gone up to like the highest it had ever been. And I would do this, I'd lose some weight, I'd put on some weight, but in every case, the scale would say different things, but my body pretty much looked the same. So I bought this book. That it's a huge book. It's a huge book, but there's 4 chapters in it specifically to fat loss. Not even just weight loss, but fat loss. I read the 4 chapters, and literally I started doing it the next day, right? So back to my point, those who are successful take action before they know all the answers. I started taking action before I knew all the answers. And in the process of taking action, I'd have questions and I'd go reference the book, right? Well, here's what happened. Not only did I lose, I think it was like 29 pounds in 45 days, I completely changed my body composition. Like, completely. And not only that, I did so without having to do the conventional thinking. I was actually working out less than when I was trying to lose weight the conventional way. And I was eating as much or more than doing it the conventional way. And I've now kept it off for, I can't remember now if I think I'm going into year 4 since I did it. I did it in January, I'm going to say, of 2010, I think, is when I lost the weight and changed my body. So, yeah, I hope that's helpful. Because I know some of you had a goal was for weight loss. I can't guarantee that it'll work for you, but the dude is a genius. And there are, if you go look for it, there are hundreds of thousands of testimonials from people who have had results similar to mine, and he's got dozens and dozens and dozens of people who have lost over 100 pounds using his slow carb diet. And here's the thing, like, I hate even having the word diet in there because people assume diet like to the conventional thinking of diet, like, Weight Watchers and that stuff. It's not a diet. It's a diet in the sense of, like, a diet is what you eat, right? So that's what it is. It's lifestyle. The reason I've kept the weight off is because I've changed it, and it's easy. Anyway. Reticulous method. I'll just put this here. The Reticulous method, you can get a free trial to Reticulous at reticulous.com just on, whoops. Because a lot of people are asking about this. If you go to reticulous.com and scroll down, of course it's not on there. Awesome. Click right here. If you don't click here. And of course that goes nowhere. Awesome. Where would you, if you click on any of the blog posts, there you go. Start a free trial. And I'll even put that direct link. Anyway. My goal is 25 sides closed in 3 months per quarter. How do I calculate how many leads I need to generate per day to meet this quarterly goal? Well, see, here's the thing, Bobby. I don't know, because you're likely going to need to do 25 sides per month. You're going to need multiple micro strategies, really. So what you're going to do is, let's say you have to meet that goal, you have 3 micro strategies. Maybe you use the Reticulous method for buyers. Maybe you use the FSBO prospecting system that Mike Stop is sharing. Incidentally, we're doing a new live workshop with Mike next week on that topic. But let's say that's micro strategy number 2, and micro strategy number 3 is like religiously following up with your past clients. You'd figure out how many transactions come from each of those for so let's say that's 5 sides per 5 sides that come from your past clients, and 10 sides that come from the Reticulous buyer's method, and 10 sides that come from the Zero FSBO. Then you just work your way down to know, okay, I know that I've got to contact 8 past clients a day. I've got to contact 12 for sale by owners a day using the Zero Resistance FSBO prospecting, and I need to generate 20 buyer leads a day. Right? I can't give you those specific answers without knowing what your meta strategy is going to look like, right? Because that part of this is, you could take 10 people who last year did 50 transactions, and they got to the 50 in 10 different ways, right? So I can't prescribe the exact meta strategy for you to hit those numbers, which are big numbers, and I love it. But that's the process you've got to work through here. And then once you do, what I can do is I'm happy to help you, once you get some of the meta strategy down, to dial in some of the micro strategies. Mark, just told my wife we're going to Fiji in October. I'm on the hook now. Love it. Love it. I've listened to many goal-setting webinars. This is the best. Jane, thank you. Thank you very much. I think I got behind there by telling my story on the questions here. Okay, so the name of the big weight loss book was The 4-Hour Body. The 4-Hour Body. Okay, The 4-Hour Body. And here's the thing, quite honestly. The other reason that I use that is because it's no coincidence that when I was able to achieve that result, that things started going dramatically better in my business. And that result being, losing the weight that I've been wanting to lose and looking and feeling better about myself. So I do think they're interrelated, and I am passionate about that. I actually went to school to be a health and phys ed teacher, and I taught for several years. And so, and the reason I did is because I went through that, because I was overweight, and I used, physical education. I used, being active to lose the weight and so forth. Anyway, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'll type the name. It's The 4-Hour Body. Here, I'll bring it up on Amazon too. And here's the thing, like I can't guarantee that it'll work for you. But I know that it does work. And what I know is that this, compared to all the other BS diets, Weight Watchers, etc., think about it. If they really helped you achieve their goal, they'd be hurting their bottom line. This guy's selling a book. There's nothing else for sale in the book. What I'm saying is, like, he's giving you how to get the result, because there's no other motivation for him, right? He doesn't have like a monthly program for you to, stay on so that you keep the weight off. He's trying to empower you to lose it and then be able to keep it off with the strategies in there. Um, anyway. Rick says, thanks so much. Major storm here shutting down. LOL. Yeah, it's snowing here too. Let's see here. Thank you. Let's see. A lot of people asking the book. Sorry. Lillian says, a basic formula from Keller Leads is 50 leads for one client is a good place to start. I agree 100%. I agree with that 100%. If you just use that as like your basis until you know your numbers, that's a good place to start. So if you want to do Bobby's, if Bobby was just talking about pure lead generation, right? Bobby would need how many would Bobby need? He would need, for 25, he would need 1,250 leads, which would be about 400 leads a month, which is totally doable. It seems like insane, but it's totally doable, right? If we're just talking purely about, cold lead generation. Jane, Reticulous, after the free trial, it's $97 per month. Cancel anytime. Yeah, Galen, getting transactions for each person has to be trial and error until they establish their own numbers. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. My real estate and personal life are on the line here. I can't afford to sell. I'm so motivated to meet my goal. Good, man. Let's do it. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear your success, my man. Confidence. I just want to use like 15 pounds, but I'm telling you, 15 pounds. If you get that book, there's only 4 chapters in the book. It's huge, right? But 4 chapters. It's like 120 pages, which I read in one night. It's not like 120 pages of like a normal book. You could read the chapters on weight loss. You could read in an hour or an hour and a half. 15 pounds. You could lose that in a month, 2 months tops, if you do what he says, you create an outcome, and you stay focused, right? Fiji is beautiful. Fiji is beautiful. I'm from the Fiji Islands. Yeah, I would love to go there. A little bit of a long flight, but hey, pretty good. Let's see here. Nancy, your method is so realistic and practical that it's easy to understand and follow. Thank you. My pleasure, Nancy. Awesome. Harry just ordered the 4-Hour Work Week. Yep, I love it. That's another book by right here, 4-Hour Work Week. Seriously, that changed my life. Happy New Year, friend. Good luck from Cheyenne. Thanks, Cheyenne. Appreciate you being on. Reticulous is the best $97 per month you'll ever spend, from Carrie. Can't make this stuff up, people. Can't make it up. Thanks, Carrie. What is the FSMO method? Eliz, just email me and I can send you a replay link of a workshop like this one, where Mike walks you through his process. Jenny, do you have any open house webinars? I'm finding it harder to get leads at open houses. I really don't, and it's not a method that we necessarily recommend. I don't know if anybody else has resources on that. I just think I think there are much more effective ways to spend your time, and I personally never really did it because I didn't want to be sitting at open houses on the weekends. It's just not the lifestyle that I wanted. In the back office is all the training on the method in video format. It's in video format, and we have a document walking through everything as well, Omar. So it's in video and outlined in a document. Elaine, give up fruit and artificial sweeteners. OMG. I give up artificial sweeteners. You can still use that a little bit, and I max out on what he says you can have there, but and here's the thing, I'm at a point with the whole weight loss thing that once to get to my goal, I followed what he outlines to a T. But then once I got to it, you can start experimenting. And I'm now at a point where I don't have to even come close to following it to a T to maintain where I'm at. Would you recommend the 4-hour work week? Absolutely, Fabio. There's lots of really applicable things to real estate there. How does the Reticulous method compare to Google AdWords pay-per-click? Well, the Reticulous method isn't necessarily a specific strategy. It's a principle for which we show you the best strategy to do right now. The cost per lead that we get using the core methodology in the method right now, which is Facebook pay-per-click, we get leads for, I'd say, 1/5 to 1/10 to 1/15 the cost of Google AdWords pay-per-click leads. So, because we've done that too, the leads are exponentially cheaper. Elizabeth says, thank you for this. I've been procrastinating on starting. This is a great start for me to get off my rump and start selling shirts that many people have asked me for already. Cool. Camellia, can you email me about your open house system? Maybe we can do something. Maybe we'll do a webinar for people. Rob says, thanks, Josh, for great info. I have many notes and going to put it to use right away. Good. That's my hope, is that as many of you as possible actually implement this information as quickly as possible so that you can actually achieve these outcomes, because there's no point otherwise. I'm definitely using a Reticulous method this year in my arsenal. Awesome, Omar. Okay, well, it looks like we got to all of the questions. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remind you one last time that I will send out the replay. I'll send out this document with it. I mean it when I say that I am dedicated to helping you achieve your outcomes. So you email me, hit me up on Facebook, whatever the case may be. I am happy to help you. And if I don't have the answer that you're looking for, I'll try and point you in the right direction. I appreciate all of you for being on here. I appreciate so many of you actually doing this with me as I walk through this, because look, that's how you're ultimately going to achieve change and get results. And that's what I want for you all. And I'll look forward to working with you all real soon. Also, look out for the daily assignments. I'm going to be posting the daily assignments most likely on the Reticulous blog. They will help you with what to do on a daily basis to achieve whatever your outcome is. So look out for those as well. Let's see here. Mark, email support. Let's see. My email. I'll drop that specifically. Jenny, will I be at the Remux this month in Toronto? I don't think so. There will be people from Lone Wolf, but I don't think me. Great way to start the new year. How do we get access to the blog? The Reticulous blog is just reticulous.com and click on the link that says blog at the top. And yes, they'll have a booth. Any other final questions, comments, etc., etc.? All right, well then here's you are awesome, Josh. Thank you, Shazad. I appreciate that. Here's your homework tonight. Go back and rewrite your intention or outcome. Rewrite it so that it is even more crystal clear. Review your list of resources that you have, resources and assets that you have, and the things that you need to make your outcome a reality. Create your meta strategy and start working on your micro strategy. And just know that if you don't have all the answers now, it simply in the process of starting to take action, by taking action, the answers will become clear. Things will open up for you, and the universe will align for you, but you've got to take action. All right? Thank you to all for all your kind words and being on here, and we'll talk real soon.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call